Hi, my name's Linda OJ.
And I'm Aaron Espindola.
Welcome to the newest episode of the Next Gen Business Podcast.
Let's go.
The Next Gen Business Podcast is produced by the Small Business Community Network. Visit them online at www.sbcncanada.org.
Hi, Aaron. I've missed you. It's been a whole week.
Yeah, a whole week until I'm super excited to have this episode coming out today. So, what did you want to talk about?
Well, there's a couple of topics I wanted to discuss because it's the way I'm feeling today. Do you ever feel like you don't want to turn up for work?
Yeah, yeah, all the time. Every Monday, I get that.
Yeah, just Mondays. Um, I'm kind of okay, but it's like sometimes I think, oh, why bother? And then when I get into it, so I'm thinking, is it a bit like when you're at college, you say to yourself, what is the point of going to college every day? I'll just kind of, keep my fingers crossed and get through the exams. Did you ever feel like that?
Yeah, I had some classes that made me kind of feel like that. I tend to find that usually when really interested into a class, I get super excited and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to like get good marks and put a lot of effort into it. But then with classes that I don't really like, I always find that I'm just like, man, I can't wait till I get over like this class, or I can't wait till it's done. I'm just gonna go to my exams or write my assignment, but I don't really put a lot of effort in to any of that. But
And then, I had a really good job when I left school in insurance brokers, and it was fantastic. It was the best job ever. So I always wanted to go to work. But then, when I worked three part-time jobs, because I had to, I'd gone through a divorce. I really didn't want to, go to those jobs. And I guess my point is for our listeners out there, if you haven't already got a job that you love and you're just going to work, for the money, and you don't want to, get up in the morning and you're not enjoying the job, don't do it because it can have really bad effect on your health, can't it? And that kind of deal.
yeah, exactly. And one of my coworkers, I don't know if I ever brought it up in this podcast, but one of my coworkers, when I was young in Walmart, I used to do the electronics department, and I loved it. But I worked all the time, and I always worked like random shifts and on Fridays and Saturdays when people would do things. Right? He gave me some of the best advice, and it's only for jobs that like they're not your career. It's just jobs that you're just like, I'm just there to get a paycheck. Is he said never put your life on hold for a part-time job or something like that. But if it's a career, then obviously you do that. But usually, like those jobs are kind of like you're just there for the money, and sometimes you want to enjoy your life as well. So
Yeah, that's a really good job. It's funny though, because that leads me into the next bit. So again, you've got to be careful when you've got your dream job, your career job, because you've got to have a work-life balance. And I know that, some people in the corporate world in particular, they never stop for lunch, they never see the family. And I think I'm against that because basically that job could disappear and your family in your health, comes first. I don't know whether you kind of think about doing that, or would you always be kind of sensible and say, no, I don't mind working overtime now and then, but not all the time.
for me, I would probably work as much as I could. I kind of have that drive usually. Whenever I start something, I kind of want to just I get hyper focused on that task, and I only want to do that until it's done. So if I leave a job half done, I kind of get bothered about it. So usually I like to do that, but at the same time, I also kind of understand that you have to have a good work life balance. So I do tend to like take my vacations. But I don't have I don't have a job that's a career yet. So yeah, I haven't really had that situation yet.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is you've got to be happy in your work, and second, you've got to, think to yourself, about having a life outside of work as well. And I don't know really why I thought about this topic today. It was just, one that popped in. I was just thinking something funny though. One of my sons used to have a part-time job. Well, actually, I think all my kids had part-time jobs at Timmy's at one time. And he used to like working the night shift and being the baker kind of deal because, it was less. messy, as he used to say, than having to deal with customers every day. And I used to pick him up because he didn't have a car and he couldn't drive. And I remember I used to pick him up at say 7 a.m. in the morning, and I went over a red light, and this policeman stopped me. And I said, "I'm so sorry, I'm driving to get my son from Timmy's. He's done the night shift." And this nice policeman said, "Oh, it's okay, because basically, we love Timmy's." And I'm thinking, if you're going to break the law, make sure you work at Timmy's. I don't know why I thought of that, but he didn't want to do that job full time, and he did graduate as a civil engineer, but he's not doing that either. He's doing something completely different. So it's funny, isn't it? You go to college, but you don't always do what you did at college. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I always find that weird. Right now, like I'm on a job search, so I am looking for different types of jobs that aren't even what I kind of studied. I know I did business, I did more management, and like small business type of things, but right now I'm kind of working as like doing well, not working yet, but like I'm in like the finance, and I didn't really learn much about finances. So yeah, usually like the jobs that you get after school, sometimes it's nice that they have something to do with what you studied, but then other times it's just like just do them.
And I think it might be true for some, but maybe not for all. Isn't your generation not going to stay in the same job forever, like say my generation did until I had children? Aren't you going to change careers a lot, or workplaces?
Yeah, I forget where I heard that. I don't know, maybe you told me before, but I remember someone telling me that my generation isn't as loyal to their employers and that they tend to job hop a lot. But I think that also has to do a lot with like some companies just don't want to retain those type of like it just they don't provide as many benefits as they used to for you to stay at that job. As at least the jobs I've had, it's always been like you get your paycheck and that's pretty much it.
It's funny you should say that, because I know a lot of the techie people, they don't tend to stay in jobs very long because they're always hopping from one job to another. And the thing is, there's a need for these kind of techie people so they can do it, but I don't think that happens in all jobs. So you're still waiting for the background checks on your job, aren't you? That must be frustrating, having to wait for background checks.
Yeah, it's really frustrating because I want to start working and the bank wants me to start working, and we're just pretty much just waiting for the government or the people in charge of that to like do their job. And get like processing the application, and then I have to wait for it to get mailed out because I don't even think they mailed it yet. Um, so it is stressful, and at the same time, um, I am also still looking for jobs, even though if it feels weird though because I have a job, but I'm still looking for other jobs just in case I end up never getting this application that I've submitted. So it is stressful, but just pray for me.
I don't know, we're on to some funny topics tonight. So have you been working today? Because it's been raining a lot. Have you been working on the landscaping?
No, usually our season ends around September. So once October starts, we kind of stop doing that. However, I do kind of car detailing too, so I get some clients. But this week I don't have any because, as you probably noticed, Instagram and Facebook were down today. And in the morning, I posted anyone of it like if anyone's wants to get their car detailed, send me a message. And then the whole day, I couldn't log on. So I'm like, damn, that sucks.
No, again, I can do without those, social media sites. Do you think it's tearing everybody apart, like of your generation, saying, I can't do this, I can't do that because Instagram and Facebook are down?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of small businesses that rely on Instagram. I know people that do lash extensions and stuff, and they only do booking through Instagram. So even though it was just like a couple hours, it was right in the middle of the day, right when people would like small businesses would communicate with their clients, and they couldn't do that. So for me, that kind of cost me like a job. So
Plus, you couldn't get your lashes done.
exactly, yeah, you couldn't get your lashes done today. So
I meant you, actually. Actually, I've got some good news for you. So it's my birthday month. I have a day every day where I spoil myself or somebody spoils me. And I shouldn't have been here tonight. I forgot to tell you because I was going to spend some time with my daughter, but then she's sick, so cancel, so I'm here. The second thing is I went for a pedicure in Acton, and these two lovely young ladies have agreed to be guests on our show in a couple of weeks.
Ooh, that's exciting.
It is because they are lovely. And I said, Erin's absolutely lovely. I was matchmaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's made you blush. No, seriously, that leads me on to networking. So I was sitting there having my pedicure, and my daughter had to say then, my mum's not being creepy, honestly. So I was saying, oh, how old are you? What time do you work till? Are you shy? And one's doing my feet, one's doing Melissa's, and then Melissa's going, it's okay, Mum's not being creepy. She's getting to a point to go, well, I have this podcast with this lovely young host. So would you want to come on our show and talk about, how you're going to this career? And they go, oh, we'd love to. It was really weird. So networking can be done anywhere, even when you're having your feet done.
Yeah, exactly. The one funny thing that you mentioned too was are they working from home as well, or is it like an actual place?
No, it's a proper posh spa in Acton. I wouldn't go to somebody's house. Who do you think I am? No, I'm only joking. No, it's my it's a birthday present off my daughter.
Okay, well, I mean, I like you mentioned, I got my hair cut, and I actually just went to my friend's. Like, he's not really like a close friend, but he's my acquaintance that I know, and he's doing it from his basement, which I thought was pretty cool. And he had people come in, and like we were sitting there getting our haircuts, and then another client came in, and I just thought it was like really interesting how these like small businesses, or not even small businesses, but like people just doing side hustles, do it from their basement and stuff.
Nothing is good. You've got to think of a couple of things that I'm sure your friend or your acquaintance has. If you're doing it in your home basement, your home insurance won't cover it. You have to have kind of a business insurance. Say if somebody falls down the stairs and you were going to cut the hair, that's a business related thing. So for anybody out there listening, if you're going to have a side hustle and it's going to be in your home, or if you're going into somebody's home, I think the same could apply to you, couldn't it? Say if let me think about this. If you're the business going into other people's homes, I suppose if you fell down their stairs, you claim on their insurance. Who knows? I don't know much about insurance. Yeah. I can tell you'd had your hair cut, though. As they say in England, you've had your ears lowered. So are you looking forward to next year when we hope COVID's disappeared and you can maybe do more networking, go to more, sports things and, stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for all the stuff to start opening up. I don't know if we're going to even be able to go places without masks. It kind of seems like they're really pushing to stay with masks on. And the passport, which kind of is inconvenient sometimes because like sometimes I don't have my wallet on me and I just use my phone to pay. So they're like, "Oh, do you have ID?" And I'm like, "No." So luckily, I had a picture of my ID, which you shouldn't have on your phone, just in case your phone does get hacked. But then I showed it to them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you could come in." But yeah, I'm pretty excited for everything to start opening up.
Yeah, I just want to network, get to meet real people. I mean, you're a real person, but it's virtual, and I think for me, once people meet me, they'll buy something off me, whether it's business consulting or networking or something like that. I really miss people. As for wearing masks, yeah, I don't mind. I mean, we're probably going to the UK late next year. And I said to Dave, I don't mind wearing a mask on the plane because it's for our own safety, and we'll get to the other end alive. So I don't mind that. And I would think by now we're very used to the masks, aren't we, in the workplace and everywhere?
Yeah, I find like we're used to it now. The one thing I am kind of nervous to do is network in person though, because like I've never done that before, and I am like a really shy person, and usually I'm more reserved. So when I'm in like a group setting, I don't participate as much as I should, and usually that's just in the initial part, like I get shy about it, but then hopefully I can overcome that in person through networking. But
If you're standing in a corner and you're observing everybody, that means you're doing a good thing because you're looking around the room and you're thinking, I wonder what that person does. And then you see somebody who's also standing alone. You go over and you go, hi, my name's Erin. What do you do? Versus jumping straight in and rushing around the room like a lot of people do. So that's quite clever. And yeah, I'm shy. I mean, people don't think it. I talk like, there's no tomorrow, but I am really quite shy too. So that's the best way to go, really, to observe.
Yeah, I find that I usually do more observing. I don't tend to like. I'm really. I try to be funny and I say jokes, but I never say jokes to people in the very beginning. I don't know why. I just never do. And then it takes a while for my like. I found to warm up to people. Usually, it takes me some time. I'll just give you a little warning.
I got a question. So, if you were attending not networking events because you come for those for free because you're a member, but say you're attending networking events when they start up again next year, how much is a good amount of money you think to pay to attend a networking event? Because I mean, something like $25 if you're a guest. And I mean, I think that's a lot of money. I don't know about you.
Yeah, usually for like I feel like people in my generation, like you're kind of just finishing school or in school, money's a little bit tight. Obviously, you have the outliers that they'll just $20 is nothing to them, $25 is nothing, but around $10, 10, 15, usually to get into a networking event, I feel like that would be fair.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like an hour or two, then that would be more than reasonable. But if it's I feel like maybe past 15 to 20, that's when you're like, okay, do I actually want to buy that or not? Usually that's in what I think about. Under $10, I'll I'll buy anything usually. And then 15 it's like, oh, do I want this? And then 20 is like, okay, do I actually want this? This is like a full $20 bill.
I agree with you because we've always had a special deal for students, but also I think a lot of the events in the new year will be in like bars and restaurants, and then if you're old enough to drink, you'll be paying you $10, and then you're having to buy a drink as well. So it could turn out expensive, couldn't it? So I think that's a good deal.
Depending on what bar or restaurant you go to, usually I would probably attend one that is not crazy expensive at the bar. So like if you go to a really fancy one, like I probably wouldn't go because I'm like, yeah, I can't even. I can pay the cover, but then I can't really buy beers and stuff. So,
So what's a fancy one in Kitchener? Then I don't know any fancy ones.
well, not in Kitchener, but in Guelph we have like people go to Lorena. That's like a Mexican style restaurant slash bar, and those prices are expensive. So yeah, they have like I think $5 for one taco or something.
So we didn't have a guest tonight, but we've had a great conversation about everything in the world, really, when you think about it. So I hope our listeners are like interested in our chit chat. But yeah, we're going to have these two young girls. I can't remember the names, but we'll introduce them when they come on the show. And I think it's going to be good for our listeners and viewers to see, a different kind of business. They don't own the business, they work for someone who owns the business, but their customer service was amazing. They were so friendly. They were really good at what they did. So I think they'll be, like some of our other guests, are really amazing for our listeners.
Yeah, hopefully they come through or pull through and we can have a good conversation with them. Conversely though, I kind of want to know your opinion on this because we're kind of targeting university students, college students, and big thing about them that they have in common is that they like to party a lot. And I don't know if you know, but there's been homecoming parties this whole month, and there's a big one in McMaster this weekend. I didn't go to it. I, it's too far for me to drive there to go to a homecoming, but there was one in Guelph as well. And I don't know if you saw pictures of the parties online or the news, but the one in McMaster, they flipped over some girl's car. So I was wondering, what are your like views on that, or what do you think about that? Like looking from the outside and being like, these are the minds of tomorrow. These are the leaders.
I think it's a shame, but to be honest, it's a bit like that in England now. But sadly, it's not just university students. So when I was younger and I used to go out in England, in Birmingham, my hometown, we used to go to nightclubs and drink and everything and, catch a taxi home or something. but we never drank in the street and played havoc. And so I think it might just be generational the world over. I'm disappointed, but luckily not all the students. Like there was a lot there, but not all the students are the same. And I don't know what to say. Maybe they've been so depressed during COVID they wanted to let their hair down, but it's a personal choice, I suppose, isn't it? I'm glad you didn't go though.
Yeah, I find like it's usually there's always like extent where like 90% of the people there are genuinely just there to have fun, drink, and enjoy the moment. And then you have like those 10% or like even less than that that just go there because they want to do things or just be wreak havoc pretty much. Which you if you are those people, don't do that. You're giving all of us a bad name.
Yeah, that's a really good point to finish on, though, isn't it? Really, I mean, say if they were arrested and they have a black mark against them, and then it stops them getting a certain kind of job. They don't think about that, do they? It's a shame. But then, any age can be stupid sometimes, can't they? So, you know. So, what messages have you got to leave us with, my dear?
I guess we were just talking about parties, so if you're gonna drink responsibly. That's probably what I would say. I don't really have good advice right now.
No, mate. It is going to be goodbye from me, though.
Yeah, and it's gonna be goodbye from me. And anyone that is watching our videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that share button. Share it to any of your friends. And if you want to be one of our guests, just send us a DM on Instagram or on our website. There's a form that you can fill out, and we can get you set up. But thank you for watching. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Check us out at www.nextgenbusinesspodcast.com.